Did you recently have to delete a page or a product from a website and you don't know exactly what to do because of Google or because people are reaching the wrong page by accident? This video is going to teach you exactly how to fix that. There are 4 different solutions that I'm going to walk through today really quickly. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you if you don't know what to do at the end of those 4, just what to do really fast. So the first is to modify the existing or previous page. So let's say, for example, you had a really popular gold watch and the gold watch had to be deleted because say you had to change your factory or whatever. If your users require an explanation of why that product might be out of stock, or maybe you're going to bring it back later, but like you need to delete the page for now, basically you can modify the page. This is good because one thing you can do is keep people, instead of directing them to a 404 error page or this page does not exist, you can keep people in your buying funnel. So in other words, you can say, we don't have this gold watch, but you can buy the next version of it, or you can buy something that's very similar. In this case, you're being totally transparent about what happened and what they can get instead and why it's maybe better. So this is a really nice way to keep people going. You might also replace the old product with a new product, but be very clear about why the change was made, particularly if it's someone who's coming back to your site. And that's something that if you want to know how to modify your site based on the number of visits, say a first-time visitor or a next-time visitor, we can go into another video. So just drop in the comments that you want me to film that and I will. Otherwise, we're going to keep moving. So the next thing we can do is create a redirect or a replacement product or category. So in this case, we have our gold watch and we want to redirect someone just directly to the new URL for the gold watch. This could be, also you could you have an old chairs, accent chairs page for your furniture store. Well, you could send people to a new page, and a couple apps that I really like for that because they have free options. In Shopify, the Easy Redirects app is really easy, and you just put the old URL and then the new URL. And then what's nice about this app is it can see how many times people have reached the old URL, and it can also show you instances where, say, you have a place where people think there's a URL, but there isn't. It will show you that. You can see that here, 5 unresolved instances, and then you can go ahead and manage those redirects in there. If you're on WordPress, WooCommerce, I really like redirection.me. This is a free WordPress plugin. It allows you to monitor in a very similar way. Of course, the UI is a little different because it's WordPress instead of Shopify. So this is actually number 2. And number 3, do you just want to block Google? So in this case, you can no-index the page. So what that means is you're telling Google, hey, I don't want this indexed on Google. This code, it looks like this. If you want to block Google, you write Googlebot. If you want to block most search engines, then robots will work. Now, this is probably one of the more technical solutions for you. It's good for if you, say, have a page that you don't want search engines to find, but you want to keep the page up there, and for some reason you don't want to leave the page in draft mode. So for example, you want it to be there for private, like communities or something, but you don't want people to be able to find that page via Google. In an actual website, what that will look like is similar to this. So it's the Meta Robots no index. And what you can do on a page is you can right click on it and then click view source, and it will show you all this code, and then you can then Command or Control F, depending on if you're a Mac or a PC user, and then look for that no index, which means that it's no indexed, or recommended to be no indexed. So here's the number 4 recommendation. Sorry, my numbering was so bad on this video. If you need to remove the URL from Google urgently, you can use Google Search Console's removals tool. And here is this. You just go into your Google Search Console for whatever website you're managing. You go to removals, and then you can either, do a temporary removal or an outdated, you can see in your request, you can add remove only this URL, or say it's a whole collection and you want to get rid of all of the collections of chairs and every chairs page. You can do that. And that's a nice way to tell Google, hey, I'm done with this and I want it out. If you do just let the product go, no one's really going to it, and you just want to let it ride out, eventually your page will drop out of the Google index and you don't really have to worry about it. Cases where it would be an issue is, say you had a ton of different pages that all of a sudden you ended up deleting a bunch of your products and you didn't want to waste crawl budget from Google. It would be a really good idea to just tell Google, hey, we did this on purpose. Our site is still high quality, and don't waste your crawl budget on this because here's what we have instead. So that's a good idea, but otherwise, it will eventually resolve itself. So, all right, I gave you all 4 methods and you still don't know what to do. Maybe you're unsure. I'm going to just give you a recommendation. I would say the best route, if you have time, is to modify the page and tell people what's going on and why the product is going away. The reason why is because people love really upfront, humanistic, authentic brands. And this is an opportunity, if the page does get traffic, to connect with your user in a really real way and create, a new sort of brand loyalty. And again, that's if you have time and the page is getting traffic. If you don't have time, and you don't care, I would just create a redirect. This is the number 2 one. Again, sorry about that. And just send people to the new generation, whatever. You can still write a note on that page that says, hey, just so you know, if you're coming from this page has been changed. But the redirect is so easy. As long as you're not misrepresenting the product, I would just do the redirect and submit your site in Google Search Console for update your sitemap, basically. Make sure it's updated, and then just make sure that you can submit it again by entering the sitemap URL and recommend and saying, hey, can you crawl this again? And then what they will do is crawl it and update the site accordingly. And again, if you have a bunch of pages. Otherwise, just do the redirect, let Google do its thing. Eventually they'll figure it out. And I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, drop them below. I love, this video is from a question. So if you have anything you'd like to know, let me know. Thanks. Bye.